Okay, I'll let you. Okay, well, hi everyone. I'm Dave Gillespie. I'm a farmer from Allumette Island, Quebec, and I'm also the chair for the SRAA, which is the Sustainable and Regenerative Agriculture and Agritourism Committee. Today, we'll have with me, helping me out, Lindsay Pasha, who's the vice chair for the committee, and as well as from Cornell Cooperative Extension, as well as Dr. Cherise Adensall, who is the Senior Research Fellow and Pacific Regenerative Agritourism, University of Sunshine Coast, Australia. She's also the Agritourism coordinator for our committee. So I'll start with letting everybody know that our committee now has close to 375 members and representing 78 countries around the world. It's well over half of all of the Global Agritourism Network. So we've been keeping ourselves very busy, and we've had webinars. This is our second one today. We've had newsletters, meetings, reports, and so forth. The first webinar, it was actually by Cherise, who we decided to hold it on, and it was the Regenerative Agritourism Pathway for the Pacific Islands. It's actually, out of the 100 webinars, it's the fourth most popular one. So for all of you that want to see it, I suggest you go to the chat, and Lindsay will put the link for that one. It was a fantastic webinar. I really loved it, and boy, it got huge number of hits. So I'll let, like I said, Lindsay go with that. Now, today's title is called Regenerative Agritourism from Around the World. So we have 3 speakers, and they're going to give, I consider them as global ambassadors for agritourism, and it's through awareness and education, and as well as local and community involvement. And you'll see that today and from their own perspective. And I'm very excited to see this. I'm sure all of you will enjoy it. So Cherise, I give you the stand. Take it from here.
Thank you. It's exciting to be meeting as a committee again, and I hope for those that aren't in a good time zone or they're busy that they watch the recording later. How many members are we up to now, Dave, in our committee?
Like I mentioned, 300, just under 375 members.
Right, and such a diverse representation globally. So I really hope that this video gets a lot of watches later. And the main reason is we've just got some really good examples today of the positive impacts that agritourism can bring, not just to farmers through diversification and additional income sources, which is really needed. Our farmers need to be treated a lot better and earn better money. But the main reason is it's an education tool, and it's a transformational tool if it's done with a regenerative lens. So we've got some really good examples today of regenerative agritourism. And I think the main thing is, when I think about agritourism, I think the power for change can happen through hands-on experiences. I think when people actually come and see where their food comes from, they meet the person responsible for, growing that food, and they see how much that person cares about the food that they're growing for you, there is a real human connection that happens through that. And then I think people are better connected to the food systems, and then more aware, and they make better choices. So I really see this agritourism as a tool to build the movement of regenerative agriculture generally. So very excited. So we've got first up Pepe from Australia. We just recently had Pepe over in Vanuatu, and he had an amazing experience with our farmers over here, and there's some beautiful stories. Pepe has actually taken some of the Indigenous knowledge systems that he learned over here and implemented it in his own farm as a climate resilient strategy. So that's a really amazing story, and I love that idea of farmer to farmer exchange of knowledge and ideas to, help deal with what's coming with us with climate change. We have Fang from Vietnam, and it's a really good example of youth, engaging youth, and having a better awareness in their food systems. So he'll be able to give you some more information on that. And then we've got Jennifer and Scott from Canada. So we're all over the world today. And they'll be giving examples of their agritourism experience. And I hope you all really enjoy it. And I know I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, let's hear from these ambassadors. Thanks. So Peppy, do you want me to share screen for you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, everybody hear me? Yeah, looks like you can. Good morning, everyone, from the Southern Hemisphere. It's 7 o'clock in the morning in Australia. It's a beautiful day. Firstly, thank you, Cherise, for that amazing introduction. I blush, but I'm looking quite red today, so it's just a suntan. So today, I appreciate your being here, and I hope to take you on a small journey of my story and help to close the farmer-consumer gap as we move forward into a regenerative future. So first, I'd like to acknowledge all original custodians of the lands and waters. I acknowledge their continuing connections to country and pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. So as you know, my name is Pepe Fassos. I'm the director, owner of 560 Farms. I'm a certified organic regenerative farmer, and I reside in the Northern Rivers of New South Wales. So we farm vegetables, microgreens, edible flowers, and medicinal naturopathic herbs that are having quite an impact down here as a certified organic tinctures. So I can get more into that later, maybe. We have a farm, approximately 7.5 hectares. I use 3 hectares for vegetables, etc., and 4 hectares for beef cattle. Today, I'd like to present to you my thoughts, experiences, and passion towards what I believe is the rising star of small organic regenerative farms. We feel extremely blessed here to be in a region that I grew up in. I've been here 47 years. I've traveled the world, but I call this place home. The Northern Rivers is home to iconic communities like Byron Bay, Nimbin, Lismore, and many more. Our lands are fertile, our rivers are clean, our beaches and landscape are photographed and shared around the globe as simply amazing. Some say our region has diamonds under it, and it seems to harness an energy here, an energy that pioneers many leaders in many walks of life. My heritage is European, Greek to be precise. My parents operated a successful Greek restaurant in the heart of Byron Bay for 21 years. Here is where my food culture and passion for local began. My father believed strongly in organics and also in supporting local. If he didn't grow it in his garden, what he needed, he would contact the local farmer, fisherman, or butcher to supply him. His food was fresh, full of flavor and nutrient dense, and this is what kept him alive as a business for 21 years, which is still the record in this very busy town of Byron Bay. So over the last 7 years, since beginning 560 Farms, you could say I've become a activist, a promoter of chemical-free agriculture and food localization in my area. 560 creates their own agritourism events, collaborating and celebrating local quite regularly. With social media as an essential tool for education, I've created a YouTube channel teaching how to grow organic microgreens. This channel alone has testament to helping create over 80 small farms around Australia and abroad. Our Instagram shows regular updates on our farm with sort of inspiring photos that you'll see through this presentation, pictures, reels, and educational content. These 2 platforms alone for us boasts over 20,000 followers now from around the globe, so I'm pretty proud of that. So today, may I tell you about the importance of what I believe is the major elephant in the room for global conventional agriculture, the rising star of small organic regenerative farms. So In a world where big often overshadows small, a remarkable shift is happening right beneath our feet. Small farms, once considered just a quaint alternative, are now becoming the norm. And why? Because our planet, our health, and our communities are crying out for change. Climate change is not just a buzzword anymore, it's a reality that's impacting us all. I have a video later to show you just shortly. Climate change is not just a buzzword. So yeah, I've said that, but I'm trying to hammer that in. It's reality. So small farms with their low carbon footprint and high nutrient dense produce are stepping up as the answer to this call. They're not just growing food, they're nurturing the earth. They're making sure that every seed planted today leaves a fertile ground for generations to come. So climate and nutrition, in my opinion, let's talk about the heart of the matter, our health and our environment. The connection between what we eat and the health of our planet is undeniable. Small farms are at the forefront of this connection, championing practices like organic regenerative agriculture. So why does this matter? Because the food that comes from these farms is not just food, it's a testament to a healthier planet and healthier people. The nutrient density in these foods is unmatched, offering us a way to heal our bodies and our earth simultaneously. It's a win-win that's too significant to ignore. The communities where I live are very switched on to these ideas and part of my presentation. So I'm very lucky to be part of a movement here that is gaining speed and it's spreading across Australia. I feel our area is just leading the way in this type of thought. So I'd like to play you a movie now just on how climate change has affected our farm. And this happened over 2 years ago, but our recovery and success has been very fast thanks to our practices and obviously our help from our community. So if I can play this, I'll come back to you shortly.
Everyone here?
Okay, so what you just witnessed was Australia's second worst natural disaster, and it happened in my town. It was a catastrophic flood that just wiped out and yeah, did so much damage. And our story was quite unique, as where we live, rescues and help was not accessible due to the where we were and the current of the river and stuff. But what I wanted to say was we purchased this farm, you know, and began farming not long before this, but the regenerative planting that I did and what we are doing now, like that was over 2.5 years ago now. So it's kind of a lot more has been done, but it actually saved so much of the soil. It captured it in areas that should have washed away, and I was able to get back on my feet very quickly. And that was just testament again to what needs to be done instead of, yeah, I think you know where I'm going with that. But so let's celebrate where we've come from to where we are now. So 560 Farms, a model in the Northern Rivers, New South Wales. We aren't just a farm. We've become a beacon of innovation and success in the realm of sustainable agriculture. We've won awards in business that show us that it's possible to grow significantly in consumer interest by focusing on quality, sustainability, and community. Our approach to low mechanization and direct connection with consumers, bypassing wholesalers and price gouging, has not only proven economically viable, but has also set a new standard for how farms can operate in harmony with nature and society. So our community engagement. In the age of social media, as I mentioned before, 560 Farms has harnessed the power of platforms like YouTube and Instagram to bridge the gap between farmer and consumer. Through educational videos, we've opened up the farm gates, inviting us all to see where and how we grow our food. And this transparency builds a bond of trust and integrity, showing that it's possible to eat seasonally, support local agriculture, and make choices that benefit our health and the health of our planet, ultimately. Our collaborations with local chefs and health enthusiasts bring the concept of seasonal eating to life, making it accessible and appealing to all. I have some pictures of food that I've created down with collaboration with chefs lower in this gallery to just support that. So our awards and recognition since that flood recovery, we've received several regional awards from Business New South Wales for agriculture and primary industry, and for our pioneering spirit and diversity in our product. Our horticultural systems were also recognised, and the fact that we promote environmental sustainability and economic stability. But perhaps more importantly, these recognitions, not just for me, but it shines a light on the broader potential of small farms to lead the way in sustainable agriculture, proving that it's possible to do well financially and career-wise by doing good. Yeah. So the future of farming, in my opinion, 560, I speak on behalf of our family farm, envisions a world where millions of small, sustainable farms surround our communities, right? And positively impacting the way food is grown and delivered. I know we need these big farms at the moment. It's going to be a slow transition, in my opinion. They have fed us for years, but we're seeing the damage and the effects now. So this is what I see for the future, and I have positive thoughts on that and how it's going to work. Because anyway, that's a whole nother topic, but not for today. This vision is not just about food production. It's about creating a resilient, sustainable future for our planet. It's a model that challenges the status quo, and invites us to imagine a world where farming works in harmony with nature, where communities are connected to the people that grow their food, and where the health of our planet is placed at the forefront of every decision. In conclusion, the rise of small farms is not a trend, it's a movement towards a more sustainable, healthy, and connected world. Let's embrace this shift, support small farms around the globe, and play a part in shaping the future of food and agriculture. Remember, every choice we make about what we eat and where it comes from has the power to change the world, one small farm at a time. So thank you everyone for listening to my presentation. It was hopefully a quick journey and look into how and who we are, but thank you very much.
Well, Pepe, I have to say, I thought I had problems. Holy moly. But how you recovered and all that is truly inspiring. It really is. I think I would have given up. So that said, yeah, and for questions and so forth, we'll wait, as I think Charisse had mentioned at the end of the presentations. The next one would be Scott and Jennifer Dale Judd. Back in the 80s, when I was a herd tester, I dropped by a dairy farm was run by Chris Judd. And then I got into all kinds of conversation with him and his wife, Jean. And then next thing, lo and behold, I end up being a farmer myself. And then, and that was from the 1980s. And 48 years later into farming, I now have an opportunity to see what's going on. What's interesting is in Chris's case, all three of his children are involved in agriculture. Some of them directly in agritourism, and some on the farm. So they've and I'll let Jennifer and Scott tell the story and the challenges in setting up. I remember that, and especially their involvement with the local community. It's really unique. So with that, I shall leave it with you, Jennifer and Scott. So take it away. You're muted.
Thanks,
oh, okay.
All the best. Hey, good introductions. Yeah, I wasn't there the day that Dave came by, so I missed that. But I think I was at college that day. But it was not in the 80s. Oh no. Oh, memory's so good. Fleeting. It's been thanks for the invite, Dave, and it's nice to share. And we've often went to other farms, whether it was when we were in dairy, when we're still in dairy, but we've always benefited from talking to other farmers, and farmers all the ones I've met are great at sharing. My dad always said, when you went to visit a farm, either you always learn something. Maybe it was what to do, and sometimes it was what not to do, but you never left a farm visit without learning something. And this is a worldwide farm visit, and we're really glad to be here. So our family's been 5th generation dairy farm, and we've been purebred Holsteins since 1895, and still producing or milking 160 cows now, and which is the biggest for our area here. But my sister and I are in partnership in the company with it for that. And Jennifer was from a beef farm down the road, and we met in high school, and then we both met in 4-H through showing and activities and square dancing and that kind of thing. So it was always a learning experience in the community, so it was great. So, and then a few years ago, we decided we were going to do something early. We had pasture around the farm, but how could we do something better with that land that was not the best pasture, and it had been a fruit farm in the 40s. So we were kind of intrigued by that, and several people had told us, you're in a great climate for that, you're a great region for that, for good wind and good southern exposure. The ground, lots of groundwater is quite high here. Our well's only 4 feet deep, and just never freezes in all winter and just keeps flowing. And so it's been so it keeps us going. And so we thought we'd do blackberries and kind of propagate out some of the vegetables and fruit that were or the fruit trees that were here already. And again, in visiting and talking to other farmers and talk to other fruit farmers, we couldn't find one that encouraged us. They were all very with climate change, and they could see the changes coming and the fragility of fruit. That way, blackberries, raspberries, they didn't really encourage us much. So we came home and stopped at a vineyard. And one vineyard in a region isn't much of a tourism spot. And this one vineyard was very, very anxious to get other vineyards started in the region. And they supplied us with shared equipment with us, and knowledge with us, cuttings with us. We went down and helped them a little bit. And they were very, very encouraging, because it takes many wineries to make a wine tour. And they were very after us to keep things going. So that was kind of how we got turned on to vines. We started with 500 vines. And that was they didn't die in the wintertime, first winter. So second winter, they kept surviving and they kept doing really well. So we started to plant 100 each year. And now we're up to, 100 for the first few years. And then a couple thousand after that.
About 7,000 vines now. So as far as vineyards go, we're probably a pretty small vineyard and winery still, but that's kind of where the name came from as well, Little Red Wagon Winery, with the thought that we would always stay small, always stay family oriented and accountable. And I don't even think we included our logo in anything, but it's on the bottle. Scott could put the slides on.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I'll make myself useful.
So we come from a relatively small region. Our MRC Pontiac has a population of about 14,200 people and 14,000 square kilometers in our region. So basically 1 person per kilometer. So we're a very vast region for our population, but fortunately we benefit from 1 million plus less than an hour away in Ottawa, Gatineau. So we decided to take a chance and see if we could attract some of that populace to our backyard and let them see how amazing our region was. And so we started, I guess, 14 years ago, and we opened our winery 8 years ago. And we've still just concentrate on selling our, we make a white, a rosé, a red. We make a second red now and some piquette as well. And have a little bistro on site, and really try to concentrate on
cows. I'm not very good at putting slides together. Of course, the challenges were moving from cows to vineyard, but one of the biggest challenges we have is this white stuff that tends to take over but gives a chance for these vines to rest. And then they're all hybrids out of Minnesota, developed. I'm always struggle with the dates on when but they're less than 25 or 30 years old. The genetics of the hybrid grape breeding for the most part in North America. So they're quite hardy, good to -40 for up to a week.
It's a picture of our winery.
Yeah, picture of our winery. So we have a little bistro in there, and we can feed 60. It's also licensed as a table champêtre. That's French for a country table. It gives a special license because in Quebec you're not allowed to have restaurants on agricultural land. You're not allowed to have a business on agricultural land. It must be ag first. So even if you wanted to fix motors, you'd have to be a farmer that fixes motors. If you wanted, but you couldn't just be. They'd shut you down if you were doing any other business on green zone or agricultural land. So we're very unique. In Quebec, there's only 30 some producers with restaurants on their farm. And in that, the priority is to show off our region. So we're quite, we have lots of beef in our region, beef, cow, calf, and some finishing of beef. So we can offer local beef. We have several sheep farms, quite small compared to lots of regions. Often they'll only have 200 to 300 sheep that they'd finish going through but we'll have that sheep now for the region, so we're able to offer local lamb. And then of course, local vegetable farms and that, and our best suppers are the ones where we can, we're able to source everything. We had a 1 mile meal one day, and that was quite a bonus. So quite a feather in the cap, as they say. As the snow leaves, this would be a picture of the vines about June probably. Right now we're doing the pruning, and we're starting with 2 buds, and this is as the vines mature quite quickly. They take a lot of labor. You'd visit each vine about 5 times a year for training or pruning and that. So
and everything's done by hand, small scale.
Yeah.
We don't have any big equipment. And we've been pretty lucky so far. We've employed local people to help us, and been extremely lucky during harvests. We ask people to come and help us pick. And this is a picture here of when we were planting the majority of our vineyard. You can see the baby vines in front of the group of people. Those are a few volunteers that helped us put a bunch of our vineyard in many years ago. And anyway, when they come to harvest, again, stop slideshow.
Sorry.
So organized. It's okay, go ahead. The other picture was of our family. The guy with the curly hair is the logo on our wine bottles. He was the one that pulled the wagon of the little plugs that we were planting when he was 3 years old. This is obviously much more recent. Our daughter on next to me in the picture, she helped us run the restaurant for the last 3-4 years. She's since moved on. She's beginning to establish a B&B in the area. Maybe not agritourism, but definitely trying to rejuvenate the area and bring tourism into the area. Too, our other kids are probably more involved with the dairy side of the farm, but they've definitely grown up knowing the work involved in the winery. But when I talk about the harvest, we ask people to come and we provide them lunch and a glass of wine and whatnot. And we've managed now for, I guess, almost a decade, if not longer, of other than our principal employee that we have, usually only one, and ourselves, we've never had to pay to get anyone to pick grapes. They're really, really delighted to come and give us a hand. And it's a great community building event. People love to chat and talk and make friends. And they become invested in our product and proud of it. And then that helps us not only get the crop off, but word spreads and more people come. And it's just been a really fun, successful relationship involving our neighbors and our community.
Even our the last year, we've had a wine bus that comes around now, bringing people from the city out, 14 people at a time, a small bus, and of course Friday, Saturday, Sunday they come out and we do a little small tasting to complement the wines, and they'll taste our wines, a little bite to eat, and get on and go to the next vineyard. And we kind of joked that you can all come back to pick grapes, and it's great fun and real community building. and you get to hear it right through the grapevine. Heard it in the grapevine is actually quite adamant, and it happens every day as we're harvesting. So because the other person on the other side doesn't know that you're listening, and but we joked with the tour bus guy. We said, "Oh, he'll drive you out," and lo and behold, didn't he? He started to sell tickets to people, and they would come out. So by the time the 14 people got to the vineyard, boy, they were ready to pick. It seemed to pump up them on the way here, and so we've expanded from our local community. Now we're encompassing the greater Ottawa Gatineau area, which is about an hour away. But people just love that experience to come out and pick grapes, see how it produces, taste some local food, and and it's all about story building, and they get to grab that story and run with it. And we were also very lucky to have this was a local farmer that was also a chef before he was a farmer, and we've been able to do a couple meals where he was able to introduce each plate to a full house at the vineyard and really show off really high quality food and really show off what the food can do in the region too, not just burgers and fries. You get to kind of really expand your repertoire in food and culinary, which again, our oldest daughter Emma really became quite a fantastic cook, and really brought a lot of people to the winery. So it's been great to really tie that food experience to the vines and the wine. 3 years ago, I guess Jen can talk about the flowers.
Because I didn't have enough to do. No, because I always had a passion for flowers, and for, I guess, pretty things, and found out that the vineyard was more work than pretty, even though other people see it as pretty. I decided to plant a cut flower garden, and I have for the last 3 years sold to customers. They can do weekly subscriptions. They can come pick up a bouquet at the winery anytime we're in season. And I'm kind of, I mean, it's a pet project. It's certainly not a money maker, but it really beautifies the area, gives them something else to do when they're here, walk through the flower gardens. But I like to emphasize that these are like natural flowers. There's nothing purchased, brought in. There's no chemicals, nothing. It's just what our farm produces, and that makes me proud.
Yeah.
It was a couple of years ago, a little bit younger then. That was probably pressing our red wine after its primary ferment, and I was obviously playing in the must with my hand, and that was freshly pressed red wine.
It's
in
kind of
our tank room.
It's nice that we're producing about 12,000 bottles on average. A small year would be 6,000 bottles. Bigger year would be maybe 15,000 bottles. It's kind of a so it's all stainless tanks. We've 4 small barrels that we do as small batches in, small special runs, but that's it. Yeah. So we've got so that's kind of a quick rundown of what we're doing. And our venue's also been able to open up for local music with local artists, giving us a spot to really connect. So, and then Jennifer's an artist, as you saw some of the art on the bottles. So we have a gallery space in the winery now for our local artists to show off their art. So we've got local flowers, we've got local music, we've got local paintings of flowers and other things, and local wine. And so it's been fantastic to be able to show people. And now with the wine bus that's coming out, it's really expanding now into, we're getting those people from an hour away to come out to the winery. And that's always kind of one of our challenges, how to get the word out. We're still hearing from people, we didn't know you were here, and so we're intrigued by the talk about more social media, and we struggle with social media. And it was on a webinar from Cornell that they encouraged us to do more mail outs, more emails to our mailing list. And we tried it and ended up going from a concert that we are going to have to cancel within 24 hours to over sold out. Really showed us quickly the power of email and using those your email list wisely. And people like to hear your story and they like to help you out. And you put that call out that you need help, whether it's harvesting or to support an artist that's performing here, it really adds up quick. So that's kind of the rundown.
Yeah, I think it helps to be friendly. I mean, Scott's definitely a welcoming kind of guy, and I would say I'm probably the coordinator behind things, behind the scenes.
We each have our strengths. It's good to use your strengths.
But we both love meeting people and talking to people and showing them what we've created and giving them a taste of whether wine or fresh juice, whatever. We want to tell our story. We want to tell people about our community, and I think that, I don't know, I'd like to think that we're authentic and people appreciate that. We're not pretentious whatsoever. We didn't know anything going into growing grapes about wine, and we've learned a lot, but there's still lots to learn, and we like sharing our story with people.
Definitely agritourism, such a new tourism itself in this region is very new. It was about 10 years ago. The regional map for Quebec didn't even include Pontiac, where we are. It was cut right off. We were like, there was a legend stuck over top of Pontiac, so you don't even go there because there's nothing to see. And so now we've got new wineries coming every year. We've got lots of high falls and great things to visit. And so not only is agritourism almost leading the way here, but it's definitely going hand in hand, and places to stay, as our daughters started up a B&B and in an old Victorian home in the town, and local Airbnbs and that kind of stuff too is also helping to bring people out to the country, because they don't want that. They don't know about that drive, right? So so tourism, wonderful. Thank you.
Amazing presentation. Thanks, guys. You can just feel the positivity from you both. It must be, you can see you love what you do. And I'm sure that when visitors come, they would feel that sense of joy that you bring to your work. And I think that's a powerful thing for a visitor to feel that and then be connected to what you're doing. So thank you for that really beautiful presentation. And now I need to come and visit. It's a long way from me, but so okay, now final presentation. I can tell he's so excited. You can see it on his face. He's just busting to present for us. So are you right to share screen? Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone. My name is Fang. I'm from Taiwan. Many people call me grandpapa, but in fact, I'm not yet a grandpa. I'm just my spirit always with my grandpa. Why? My grandpa was a farmer. When I returned from Australia and Japan to study my agriculture, when I returned to my village in Yilan, which is 1 hour by bus from Taipei City to northeastern coast, I realized that agriculture is so much fun. So I would like to show more about how interesting agriculture it is. So I became a rice farmer, produced purple rice. And after to being a farmer, I realized that, wow, many people in the city, especially young generations, they told me that agriculture is so far away from their life because it's not really easy to gain some farmland in the city. So I was thinking, how can I invite them to get involved in the lifestyle of farming? So one way I found that is to explore the morning market. So before that, I would like to share more about Taiwan, because many people consider Taiwan maybe just only famous for computer chips or real estate or even some financial industry. But I would like to say that 2/3 of Taiwanese island, even though it's just small island, but it's all green, all mountainous. Even though Taiwan is a small island in the world, we do have 4 climates, 4 seasons. And then some people call us Ilha Formosa from Portuguese. They told us that it's a beautiful island. It's a fruit kingdom. It's also a life of ecology. So there's one video I would like to show you. Just in case you cannot really listen to the music, so I send the link to the note. So maybe everyone you can have a look about that. Okay, so this is a video about farm kitchen I would like to share with you guys. So around Taiwan, yeah, just make sure you can listen to the music. If not, I will just explain for you. We do have ranch, fishery, and then also this ranch. So we do have a little bit of everything. But the things many people in the city don't really understand or don't really get involved in their lifestyle about agriculture. So we make it fancy, fashionable, even more interesting that you can join a cooking class. So usually food is very important. We connect people from culture to culture. So we invite everyone from North region, South region, offshore island, which is different region. We do have different produce or different way of farming. So we open the kitchen, invite everyone to come and then to learn cooking. And then while dining, we share story with each other. And this is what Farm Kitchen in Taiwan, we are promoting one of the agritourism activities for urban people. And for my original intention, why I would like to become a farmer is that my hometown is called Yilan. This is a beautiful island. We also always call it Xanadu of Taiwan. Only 1 hour away from Taipei City. 20 years ago, there was a big mega construction we call Snow Mountain Tunnel. Once it finished, many people from city and then come to our hometown Yilan. This is Lanyang Plain. It was all farmland. But after these constructions, more and more people coming here to invest farmland and then to build up houses and then to invest. This is what we concern so much that, well, we always think we want development. So we want all more farmland and then earn more money, of course. But if we think of more money and then from the farmland, in Taiwan, the regulation that has a problem that you can buy land freely, and then it costs that the farmland in the world, we have the highest price for farmland on earth. That's in my hometown. And that makes me feel a bit sad because every time when I return from Japan, from Australia, and from other regions to my hometown, every time I saw less and less farmland exist and more houses built up. This is what we think, how can we do to protect our Mother Earth, more nature, farmland be sustainable? So the one way we think that, well, now everywhere in the world, it's going modern. So city become more popular and then we get used to lifestyle in the city and then technology. But how can we get back to the tradition? We learn from grandparents, our parents, different generations. They do have life experiences in different regions in Taiwan. And then especially from our grandparents, there's a saying that in Taiwan, old is new. How can we promote all things to new people, to young people, to city people? We found that nowadays everywhere, shopping mall, convenience store, supermarket, everywhere is new. But once we are talking about all things, can we keep the old houses? Can we keep the old castle, even old traditional market? Then I found that everywhere in the city in Taiwan, we do have traditional markets. And then from farm to fork, all the produce was produced in the village, in the province. But in the end, most of them will be sent to the morning market to sell. So it's easy way for city people to learn what the vegetable it is. And then nearby somewhere of this vegetable vendor, we can see some seedling shop, even seeds shop. And after that, can see some restaurants, even hotels. And in between, we do have some knife museum, knife shops, or some farming tour shop nearby in this morning market. So once we do the morning market tour, we are able to learn from farm to fork, this whole system, and then get a little bit of information about how farming is interesting, just doing the morning market exploration. So connecting people to agriculture by morning market tour is what our generation in Taiwan, in the city, to promote that. Even we connect to schools. So we make morning market, traditional market, as a global localized morning market. So it's not only a place to do shopping, but also a school to learn agriculture. And it's also a museum to know where the cuisine or tours come from in any part of the world. Even we can just go to explore the seed shop to see what's the baby of this vegetable. For example, corn. Can you see the corn? We do have a red corn, yellow corn, purple corn. So it's also interesting to learn all this baby from, and then how it grow up to become vegetables. And of course, nowadays, many kids in the city don't really know how to do shopping, because once they go to supermarket, they just have need mobile phone. They can do shopping without any conversation. But the thing is, it's interesting that everywhere you are traveling, you visit local markets, you meet local people. The way you interact is through asking and then conversation. You learn a story. You learn how beautiful and how happiness the family runs their business. Even a hardship, no problem, because that's life. We do have hardship, we do have happiness. So so far, we do host more than 30 countries coming to Taiwan, coming to my hometown to learn agritourism from morning markets. And so far, I don't really know how can we recognize ourselves to classify ourselves, because farming in Taiwan for young generation is really difficult, because Taiwan is really a small scale land. So only producing rice to earn money is so difficult. So that's why we need to do some more activities, for example, agritourism, to promote tourism. And then we share our knowledge, farming knowledge, to city, urban people, even schools. So we need to be a teacher to them. And also, I'm myself also a tourism ambassador to promote tourism to Taiwan, even to agritourism around Taiwan, to different leisure farm. In Taiwan, agritourism, we call ourselves leisure farm. And we do have this system to help farmers to transforming from traditional farm into, we make some byproducts. Even we have some accommodation, even some food and agriculture education to promote, even to help establish a law to help traditional farmer to become leisure farmer. And also, we also need to do cultural tour as well to introduce more story from our 100 years ago, what happening, indigenous tribes, how they produce their produce, and then how can they make sustainable life. So I was also awarded Sustainable Youth Leader to promote this agritourism, even to sustainable idea for young generation in Taiwan. And that's one way Taiwan is in high-tech, famous for high-tech knowledge. So we also need to use VR, morning market tour, and we bring agritourism to office, to school, to do this online exploration, and then to show them, can you tell any vegetables in this vendor? For example, we can see on the screen, there is a purple long eggplant. Okay, but this eggplant is interesting that from Western country, from Japan, from Eastern country, the eggplants have so many different varieties. But why eggplant is called eggplant? Okay, in Taiwan, we always have these long shaped eggplants. So when I host a group of students from United States, they were asking me, why is this purple fruit so long? What's this? I told them this is eggplant. But our students were surprised. Why is eggplant? It doesn't look like egg. Okay, but once you Googling and search for eggplant and you search for the pictures, you will see, wow, the eggplant originated, the shape is really look like white eggs. So what's so interesting that in any part of the world, we do have a similar food, similar ingredients, but the things, different climate, different soil, we plant different variety. And the different shape, the way we eat eggplants different. For example, in Taiwan, we do have stir fry, we do boiling the eggplant, and then with soy sauce. But maybe Western countries, we grill, we bake, and then it's a round shape. So that's also interesting that through the food, through the agriculture, we learn from each other, from Western country to Eastern country. So we also have more and more story, but the thing is, once you go into the morning market, it's more interesting comparing to just stay in the classroom and then to see the textbook and then read. So we made a field study trip more interesting and connect to agriculture as well. And not only this, nowadays in the city people, how can we make agriculture more fashionable? We make it agri-ancestry, which is exhibition. We tell them the story behind each farmer, from fishery farmer, from ranch farmer, from vegetable farmer, fruits farmer, tea farmer. And then also we make their produce or their products like just like a show, you know. So it's a fashion. It's supposed to be fashionable. It's supposed to be cool. Supposed to be beautiful. So that's why we would like to change the image of agriculture in Taiwan to let more city urban people can enjoy and get involved in their lifestyle in the agriculture too. And moreover, well, we young generation also need to be a YouTuber, a podcaster. We interview different story behind different farmers, and then we have different story. So this is the way now young people, modern young people, they get used to their life. They listen, they watch. So of course, we need to do something to attract them. Once they will attract them online, we bring them to the reality, which is a farm or to the morning market. So we also working quite hard to try to change the image and promote agriculture from make agriculture to family as well. So this is another video. I would like to also show you how we invite urban people get involved in the agriculture lifestyle through morning market tour. Okay, we start from the train station. Of course, we tell the story why Taiwan is influenced by Japan, even Portuguese, even American as well. So this exploration, of course, food is important. We also learn how to make food from the masters in the morning market, fish bowl, ice cream roll wrapper. Even my rice will become a rice roll for them to do activities as well. And from morning market, after that, we bring everyone to the farm, to the village, to do some activities, farming experiences, even cooking class. So we make farming all the different procedures. Even we help them to do farming in this urban style, which is you get yourself clean and then comfortable. You don't need to bend down your waist. Just enjoy farming. One of them you can enjoy that. So so far, also we do have some international reporter coming here to share. But I would like to say that once again, Taiwan is really a small island. So for us, for our young generation, being a farmer, it's really tough. But we do have ambition. We do have this mission and original intention to that, because agriculture is the future. So far, once we are talking about sustainability, so how can we promote ourselves, our young generation, new ideas to agriculture? So we promote to urban people, to school. In the future, of course, for the Asian countries, which is developed countries or modern cities, we also would like to join again, and also through this network, let more cities to understand. City people, city school, city young generation can also join and get involved themselves in agriculture through morning market tour, even to make agriculture more fashionable, make cool. So I would also like to thank our president, Lai Ching-te. He gave me and encouraged me to promote this, and then even join again to promote our idea to the world. and interact with everyone. This is what I would like to thank you everyone for having me here. Taiwan in the world is really a small country, but how can we share our experiences to the world? Taiwan is also based on agriculture. So we do have 40 years experiences doing agritourism. So I'm also excited to meet you guys in May in Italy to meet in person. I think in person we'll have more warmth, more warm-hearted, more interactions with each other. And in the end, this is my YouTube channel. And then we always believe that all is new. I think everywhere in the world, all things is what traditional things is what we concern to protect and keep last longer, to keep sustainable development goals. Thank you very much for listening to me and wish you guys have a very good day. Thank you.
Thank you.